Namaste. In the spirit of Guru Purnima, we are celebrating the gift that never fades, knowledge that transforms. Bring home that wisdom at 50% off. Jayaji's offerings, pen drives, books, courses are available at half price when you purchase worth 7,000 or more. This is a limited time offer. Visit vedantavision.org to place your order. Invest in your growth. And there's more to look forward to. Guru Purnima Talks by Jayaji will be held in Delhi on 20th July, Kolkata 24th July, Bangalore 10th August. All talks are free and open to all. Invite your loved ones to share the inspiration. Next week, we are having a special Guru Purnima talk on 5 secrets of happy relationships. The online talk will be at 9 pm IST on YouTube. Do join with your loved ones for a truly special evening. Now, let us return to chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita with Jayaji.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
So last time we saw verse 30 of chapter 3, which talks about perfect action. What are the constituents of perfect action? How do you implement them? How do you put them in practice, one by one, and then integrate all of them? And with this knowledge, when you look around you, you find sparks of excellence in various places because they've lived one of these 6 points, one principle. Can you imagine what happens if a person lives all the principles that he's talking about? So this is what we must pay attention to. How do we do that? Every day try and live one of the principles. Like live in the present. While acting, don't allow your thoughts to go to the past or the future. Just remain in the present. This is called concentration. And then consistency of purpose. All your actions, all your thoughts, all your emotions, your entire being must be directed towards the goal that you've set for yourself. And that has power. We don't experience that power because our thoughts go all over the place. We get distracted. The other day I was talking to a young girl and she was saying, it's not that I don't give my best, but I'm giving my best to too many things. So that is the thing. We want to excel in too many fields. You have to select one and stick to it. You can't be an expert in more than one field. Sachin Tendulkar could not have been an ace tennis player and a cricketer at the same time. You can't be. So you have to select one. And then give your heart and soul to it. Love it. So, when we speak of love, it's not just for human beings. It's not just for living beings. It is for what you do. You must have that feeling of love, that worshipful attitude towards what you do. Then every morning when you go to work, it comes alive to you. I don't know if you've experienced that. And that can only happen when you have a passion for what you're doing, when you're committed to it, when it's all that you want to achieve in life. So now we move to verse 31.
Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto nasuyantaha muchyante tepi karmabhihi.
They are also freed from actions, who always follow my teaching with shraddha, free from malice. Follow my teaching means in this context, he is talking about verse 30, action, perfect action. Why is he saying also? Because there are other paths. There is bhakti marga, there is the path of knowledge. So karma is not the only path. So he is using the word also. And then see the key words in each verse you should pick up. Nityam means always, consistently, persistently, constantly. It's a full-time pursuit of your goal. It's like, there was a movie, I forget the name of it. It was about a scientist who was taking a flight from London to New York. And just before that, he was working for that company, the airplane company. And just before that, there were a series of crashes. And he was a research scientist, so he was thinking constantly about why is this plane crashing? And suddenly he got the answer. And he realized that that aircraft that they were on was about to crash. It was reaching its tolerance limit. So he was desperate. He asked the crew member, he said, I want to talk to the pilot, and somehow or the other he wanted to convey the message that the plane was about to crash. And in those days, only the very rich people traveled by air. So, and he was traveling first class because he worked for that company. So there was this heiress, American heiress, beautiful lady, who was attracted by this man and his sincerity and his genuineness. She didn't know, he wasn't about to tell the passengers that the plane is about to crash, but something about him attracted her. But nothing made any sense to him. So that she had fallen in love with him, he didn't even realize. So this is that constancy of thought that we are talking about. Last week we saw how this cricketer met with a girl who, it was an arranged match. And he was meeting the prospective bride for the first time. But all he could think of was cricket. And it was so beautiful the way it was portrayed in the movie. It just didn't occur to him that this girl is meeting him to get married. So this is that constancy that we're talking about, where you don't think of ananya chintan, he talks about. Anya means other. Ananya means no other thought. Look at the intensity of thought. And then he says, Anutishtanti. Anutishtanti, follow. But it's not just follow, it is constant striving. This effort, the constant application, the constant stretching to excel yourself. You're not content with what you have achieved, you want to do better. that you see in sports people. You saw it in the French Open, now the Wimbledon is around the corner. You see it in cricket, you see it in athletics, in the Olympics, all over the place. But when it comes to us, we seem to be content with where we are. That is tamas. And with that kind of attitude, you will never ever achieve excellence. And then he says, anasuyantaha, without malice, no negativity, no criticism, no picking fault with others. See, when you're dedicated to your own goal, you have no time to think of others. You don't have the mind space to think of what other people are doing or not doing. You just go ahead with what you have to do, and it doesn't matter. So these are things that we should get. There are 4 points in this verse that are very important, which we should apply in our lives. Number 1, nityam, consistently pursue your goal. Number 2, anutishtanti, to stretch, to keep pursuing, never give up. Anasuyanta, don't entertain a negative thought. Because remember one thing, you become what you think of. You think negative, you will become that. And then Shraddha. Shraddha is a beautiful word that encompasses so many things. It is that power that enables you to convert knowledge to wisdom. It's that force that encourages you to pursue your goal against all obstacles and failures. You may fail 1,000,000 times, but you still have that Shraddha, that there's no other word for Shraddha in English, the faith that I will achieve it sometime. It converts information to transformation. You're not content with just gaining information. Till you achieve it, till you live it, you keep at it. It converts tuition to intuition. You know, tuition is what you get from outside. And then you chew on it, you think about it, you reflect on it, you look at it from different angles, you experiment with it, and then you live it. Then you become intuitive about it. It's like a doctor. The moment a patient enters his clinic, he knows exactly what's wrong with the patient. Incredible. And this is the kind of insight that you develop when you gain that purity. How do you gain that purity? With this consistent application, with the Shraddha. It's like Sherlock Holmes, you know. What he saw, what was elementary to him that poor Dr. Watson for the life of him wouldn't understand. It's not that he was dumb. It's just that he had that perception, you know. And whether it is in business or sport or in whatever field you're in, art, music, if you have this intuition, by God, you excel. Because then, the moment you meet with someone, you know exactly what he is, you know what he's like, you know how to deal with him, you know how to achieve your goal. It's incredible. Sight becomes insight. And you don't just speak words of wisdom, you live them. And when you live them, you know what happens? Take a guess. You stop talking. You just live it. You stop talking about it. Others go blah, 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 who don't understand a word of what they're saying. Just chatter, chatter, chatter. So, 4 things. I'm repeating it because it just evaporates. Number 1, Nityam, always. Number 2, Anutishtanti, this constant striving. You know, a simple thing like an exercise, you stretch. The first time you do it, it's a strain. You're not able to do it, or at least you feel the strain. And then your body aches like mad after that. The whole day you're in pain. But that's why they say, don't stop. Even if you're in pain, next day you do it, third day you do it, fourth, fifth, then it becomes effortless. Have you noticed that? It's the same thing at any level. Your dancer strives, keeps struggling to get her movements right, her expression right, everything right. And then it's effortless. I don't know if you've seen experts in any field. So that's what it is. Next verse.
ये त्वेतदभ्यसूयन्तः नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञानविमूढांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान चेतसः.
So 31 said, if you follow it, what happens? Now in this verse he says, if you don't follow, what happens? So he's not just talking about things. He is explaining a law. It's like you explain the law of gravity to a person and say, if you follow it, you'll do well. If you violate it, you will die. That's it. There is no other option. There is no other possibility. So similarly, but know them to be destroyed. Who? Deluded of all knowledge and without discrimination. Decry my teaching and do not follow it. So verse 30 gives the 6-point path to perfect action. Verse 31 says, if you follow it, you'll reach the goal. This verse says, if you don't follow it, you'll get destroyed. It's a law. So, to live without this knowledge, and most of us in the world are living without this knowledge, is like driving a very powerful sports car. When you're drunk, you think you'll survive? Or you don't know how to drive. The two possibilities. I don't know if I told you, in Singapore once, many years ago, maybe 40 years ago, our host had a brand new sports car, Porsche. You know how powerful it is? You sit in it, it was a two-seater. So there's just the driver and you. He just has to put his foot on the accelerator. It goes so fast, your stomach curdles. Have you experienced that? It's incredible. So he took us to some place for lunch, to a hotel. And those of you who know Singapore, it's ups and downs. So it is on top of a hill. And he gave it for valet parking. Now he should have told the guy, this car is a very powerful car. Be careful. The fellow just put his foot on, we were standing there. One moment the car's there, next moment it's gone. It's just gone. You know where it went? It flew off the hill and landed on the street below at a busy intersection. And luckily for him, he fell flat on the four wheels. And there was no traffic at that time. Somehow, he escaped. I still remember the shock on the face of the guy who owned the car. It's not a cheap car, it's very, very expensive car. And he walks to the edge of the thing and looks down, sees the car. So it's like that. And especially in modern life, it's so fast paced and technology has so many distractions. So many avenues for you to go wrong. simple thing, like you go home, you start scrolling, right? Any age. Can you imagine? And just this morning I was thinking, what did we do before social media came? Huh? And when we were kids, there was no TV. Radio was there only for a few hours. What did we do? Obviously, we had a good time. But it's all gone now. So if you make up your mind that I'm going to keep away from this phone, except when I need to, you'll see how much time is free. There's so many things you can do with that time that you get. So it's like that. You need to have an intellect that is powerful enough to withstand the temptations of the modern generation. It's not easy. It's highly addictive. Have you noticed that? You start scrolling, before you know what's happening, 1 hour has passed. 1 hour of time wasted. Unless you're looking for educational things, or that very few people do. It's just idle scrolling. So, Sarva Jnana Vimudhan means you're devoid of knowledge of both the world and the beyond. It's not just in the spiritual field that you need the intellect, even in material field, in the world. We've seen examples. What happened to Maradona? What an outstanding footballer he was. Elvis Presley. At a time when there was no internet, no WhatsApp, no nothing, he was a world sensation. Everyone in the world knew of Elvis Presley. What happened? He died an unfortunate death. Very, very avoidable death. We can go on and on and on, giving examples of people who were extraordinarily talented, wonderfully gifted, but just ruined themselves because of lack of intellect. And you may say, how are we protected then? Because fortunately for us, we have neither the money nor the means to destroy ourselves. If we had had all the talent or fame, can you imagine what would have happened to you if you had unlimited resources of money or extraordinary fame? Thank God you don't have. Achetasaha, no intellectual application at all, no consciousness. And that is the sad part. So that's the critical difference. You need to look inward and upward all the time. Look, like Shankaracharya said, Pratipaksha Bhavana. There's a short movie on a guy called Henry Sugar. I had forgotten the name of the movie. Amazing movie. It's about this guy who goes to some yoga guru in India, and learns the art of seeing things without eyes. And then he goes to a gambling, some Las Vegas or something, place like that. So you know what happens? He knows what cards the other guy has. And he wins. And then he's very clever, just so that people don't get on to the fact that he knows, he deliberately loses sometimes. Or he walks away, makes a little money and walks away. And then he makes so much money that he goes to his balcony and just throws the money around. Just throws it up. And there is complete chaos on the street below. So there's a policeman who goes up to him and says, "What do you think you're doing? You're creating chaos. If you really want to do charity, you want to give people, start a school, start a hospital, do something." That rings a bell in him. And that's how he becomes an extraordinary philanthropist. But he has to remain anonymous because all his income has come from cheating, not just gambling, cheating. And this is it till the end. And then in the end he realizes, of what use is all this? So all of us are running around like this. At least he started giving. We are not even doing that. 33.
सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतिर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रहः किं करिष्यति.
Even a knowledgeable person acts according to his or her own nature. Beings follow their nature. What can suppression achieve? What can restraint do? So he switches track here because he's assumed that you have become a knowledgeable person. You know the 6-point path to perfect action. You know so many things. You've studied the Bhagavad Gita. Or generally in life you know things. And then you see a foolish person. You see a person throwing his life away like this. What do? And so he is giving us a word of caution here that even a knowledgeable person acts according to his or her own nature. There are stories in our scriptures of sages who have a wild temper. There are people who have achieved outstanding things but who have had a weakness. Beings follow their own nature. So he is not discouraging us. He's telling us that even after you put in a lot of effort, you see the same trait coming up again and again. Don't you see that in yourself? You may be a forgetful person and you go out of your way to write down points in your diary, now on your phone, and then suddenly you forget. You feel like hitting yourself. But that's it. Everyone, even a knowledgeable person, acts according to nature. This doesn't mean that you don't try. You know what it means? Keep trying. Again and again. As many times as you fall, pick yourself up and keep going. Sometime you will overcome it. So don't get discouraged. Beings follow their nature. What can suppression do? So you cannot suppress your vasanas. You can't wish them away. The only way that you can overcome them is through knowledge. So you keep on at it. And every time you fall, you pick yourself up, say, where did I go wrong? I'll try to avoid that. Again you fall, same thing. So there have been, who was it? Roger Federer, who addressed a university graduation ceremony. His first statement was, I have had more failures than wins. I have missed more points than I have got them. And then what? You just keep trying. That's the thing. That's the beauty of excellence. All the people in the world who've achieved excellence have just kept trying again and again and again. There's this famous king of England who lost many battles, and then he went into hiding because if he had been found, he would have been killed. So he went to the home of a poor farmer. The lady there, she didn't realize he was the king, asked him to mind the cakes that she was baking. And he was thinking of national interests, how to get his forces together, how to regroup them, how to win back his kingdom and all that. He didn't have time to focus on the oven and the cake that was baking there. And all the cakes got burnt. So that farmer's wife got so mad with him, she threw him out of the house. But that's just it. He had failed, and now he was trying how to get himself together, regroup his forces and get back. And that's all that we can do. Every time we fail, just get your forces together, all your energies together and say, come on, let's go. One more time. Abraham Lincoln failed so many times. Everyone, all the successes in the world have failed. So, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And the difference is that in knowledge you only know, but you're not living it. So that gap is bridged by reflecting over it, thinking over it again and again and again, pondering over it, looking at it from various angles. And then it becomes you. It's like food. Just because you chewed food and swallowed it doesn't mean you become the stronger for it. That food has to be broken down, absorbed into your system, circulated everywhere, and then it becomes an inseparable part of you. Until then, you will only be knowledgeable, not wise. So you are a victim of your own vasanas. Vasanas means What I mean is, how have the vasanas come about? You don't know the chronology of action. Okay, let's see. You perform an action. Let's say there is a singer who sings. Why is he singing? Singing is the action. How does the action come? Desire. Who said that? Say it out loud. Desire, because he has a desire, she has a desire to sing, so she sings. How did the desire come? Thought. How come only she thought of singing and not her husband, not her siblings? Vasana. Okay. Now the question is, how did the vasana come? Past action. Past action. So, action could be thinking, could be actually singing, could be listening to singing, whatever. Isn't it? Let's say you have a vasana for traveling. You like going to Italy, Greece, where else? Timbuktu. How did that, why do you travel? Because you have a vasana. How did the vasana come? Because you've been constantly entertaining the thought of travel and you've been acting in that direction. So, why do we say you're a victim of your vasanas? Because vasanas are the sum total of your past actions that cannot be changed at this moment. Therefore, you're a victim. And at this moment, whatever you do with yourself, you cannot change it. You can only suffer in silence. That is why I say, understand nature functions in you, in others. Then how do you expect your husband, your wife to change? Impossible. And yet you are expecting the impossible to happen. Don't we say this again and again? The last person on earth you can change is your spouse, your partner. Don't even try that. Don't go anywhere near that. What must you do? Just accept. So it's not that you can't change your vasanas, but it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes application. And that period between knowledge and wisdom, you have to just, that is where they call it titiksha, I mean bear with it. So let's say you have a temper issue. You've put in a lot of effort to overcome that, but it keeps popping up. And every time it comes up, you're aware of it and you say, I have to put in more effort, but you can't get frustrated with it. Many of us get frustrated because then the understanding should kick in that even a knowledgeable person acts according to his nature. Right? So what must you do? Just sow the seed of wisdom, knowledge, and wait. Just as a farmer sows the seeds, he does what he has to do and then waits. You know, now paddy is it's the season. So a gentleman told me, I have to go back to my field. When? I don't know, whenever it rains. It's when it rains that they sow the paddy. And then they wait. Wait till it germinates. You know, paddy is transplanted, right? So they have to go back again to transplant the paddy. And if it doesn't rain, the whole crop is gone. So that's the thing. You sow the seed and wait. This is called titiksha. It's a beautiful concept. You put in your effort, don't get frustrated, don't get disillusioned. Just wait, it'll happen. Next verse.
इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्नवशमागच्छेत् तौ ह्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ.
Raga dvesha, attraction and repulsion towards sense objects, rest in the sense organs, not in the object. So you think it is the object that is pleasurable or not pleasurable. That's not so. Why? Because different people have different likes and dislikes. The same person is liked by someone and disliked by someone else. The same fruit or the same food or whatever it is liked by some people, disliked by some people. So it is not in the object, it is in you, it's in the sense organ. Nobody should be controlled by these two, one's enemies, paripanthina. In this section of the Bhagavad Gita, he uses 4 words to describe desire, and all 4 mean enemy. Here he says paripanthina, then he'll say vairin, enemy, nitya vairin, constant enemy of the wise. And in the last verse of the chapter he says shatru, jahi shatrum mahabaho. Likes and dislikes you're born with. Have you seen an infant? He very powerfully exerts his likes and dislikes. You cannot make an infant do something that it does not want to do. Finished. That's it. And you can't keep the child away from anything it likes to do. Very powerful likes and dislikes. So this is a motor that drives you in the world. So you go towards, you are attracted by things you like and you are repulsed by things you don't like. But during your lifetime, you pick up more likes and dislikes. It's like a tea picker. Have you seen in a tea garden? They have a basket on their back. In the morning, the basket is empty. So they go, it's very deftly done. It's an art. So they pick up the tea leaves, whatever leaves they're supposed to pick. And by the time it's evening, it's heavily laden with tea leaves. And they've done their work. Similarly, us, we're born not with empty minds, but with full of likes and dislikes. And during our lifetime, we're adding more. Not only are we adding, the environment is supporting it. So your parents, your friends, your cousins, everybody says, you like it, have it. Don't like it. When you invite a friend over, you will not make something that your friend dislikes. You make what your friend likes. So, and then your mind is the reason for your likes and dislikes. So it just picks up these likes and dislikes, and then that becomes a powerful motor that drives you to activity in life. And this goes on life after life after life. Here he says, nobody should be controlled by these two, one's enemies. And what are we doing with that enemy? Pampering them, nourishing them, spoiling them. And not only are we doing, marketers, they use very powerful marketing tools to make you buy, even if you don't want to. They go to the extent of analyzing colors, the font to be used. I mean, it's incredible. And then you go to a mall in the West. How will you survive if your intellect is not there? So you know what happens to most Indians? They buy and buy and buy and buy. And then when it's time to pack up and leave, come back, they're sitting on the bags because they can't close, the bags don't shut. And then they go to the airport to check in. And then what happens? Overweight, correct. You pay for excess baggage. Now you add all that together. For one item, you're paying 3 times the amount. All because of what? Likes and dislikes. So, it's not that you should discard them. This is the feeling people get. Just scan them with your intellect. Many people go there, see things that are nice, buy them, but they can never be used here because the lifestyle is different here. So that's the thing. Every home you go to in the West, where there is affluence, you see so many things that have been picked up everywhere, in the kitchen, in the living room, in the dining room, in the bedrooms, everywhere. Brand new, unused, especially kitchen, gadgets that are unused. Then why did you buy them? I liked it. Homes, the wardrobes, with clothes with the price tag on. Not used for years together, 2 years. By which time it's out of fashion. So what do? Out, discard. And the price that you're paying, it's not the money that you have paid for it. It's the fabric, the cotton or whatever the fabric is, the dyes that have been used, all environment unfriendly. So these likes and dislikes not only destroy you, but they destroy everyone. So watch out. Just scan it through your intellect. Then you're fine. And then of course pick a higher desire. And then when you pick a higher desire, that means so much to you. And it gives you so much fulfillment that you stop thinking of your desires. And you know, amazingly what happens? Exactly what you desire comes to you. You don't believe me? Live this life and you will see. Casual thought, you might just think, I wish I could, it's nice to eat strawberries. You go to London and you say, I wish I could have had strawberries. It appears on the table. Have you experienced that? How? You don't think of it, it comes. Amazing. Next verse.
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः.
Swadharma, one's own duty, though without merit, is better than paradharma, another's duty, well performed. It is better to die in Swadharma, as paradharma is bhayavaha, frightful. So here again he is talking about a very, very important aspect of life. It is a game changer in life. So you have to choose your field, the field of endeavor, your particular field, according to your Swadharma. What is Swadharma? Your talent, that unique gift you were born with, that particular thing towards which you have a very powerful leaning. I met a doctor in Leicester this time, and he was saying ever since he could remember, all he wanted to do was become a doctor. And he spoke of his experiences in medical college. They were not nice, but he just had a passion for it. And you see the game changer, how it changes your life. And if you are unfortunate enough to have lived life in a paradharma field, means a field alien to your nature, so unfortunate. It's a double whammy, because what you love doing, what you have a powerful desire for, there is no outlet for it. And what you dislike doing, you do all your life. Why? 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 What vasanas? You don't even know what vasanas are. For money, right? So it's very sad. I know a guy in Calcutta who had an amazing talent for golf. He was an outstanding golfer. His father said, "You fool, there's no money in golf. Where will you look after your wife and kids?" So he forced him to stop golf and take to business. And he is a hopeless businessman. Bad. He would have been a world-class golfer and would have made more money in golf than he's ever made. So similarly, all of us. MS Dhoni started life as a ticket collector, railways. Rajnikant was a bus conductor. I mean, you see how they excel. It's like You find your field is like you find your lane, you get the right speed and you cruise. Excellent question. I was waiting for that question. Nobody asked. You started, that's why I smiled. Do you know what she's saying? Verse 34. Likes and dislikes are your greatest enemy. Nobody should be controlled by them. Likes and dislikes means what? Desire. Very next verse, he said, Swadharma even without merit is better than Paradharma. What is Swadharma? Desire. Isn't it contradictory? Now, all of us have all kinds of desires. But what it means, see, if you have a powerful desire, you can't wish it away. You can't use knowledge to overcome it. You can't sublimate it, in other words. You know what sublimate is? You know what sublimation is in chemistry? Substance goes from solid state to the gaseous state without going through the liquid. So, we say desires can be sublimated through knowledge, with knowledge. But what kind of desires? Desire for toys, desire for a home, desire for a particular car. These desires can be sublimated. But you have a powerful desire for music or business or any such thing. It cannot be wished away. It cannot be sublimated. You have to plow through that action. Secondly, in this lifetime, Swadharma means it is so powerful that you have to act in that field. You see, I can't imagine Sachin Tendulkar doing anything except play cricket. Can you? If he had done MBA, he would have been a hopeless failure. Or Nadal, if he had done chartered accountancy, he would have been a hopeless, no one would have gone to it. So that's the thing. It is so powerful that you have to plow through it. And it's like if a thorn is embedded in your flesh, you put in another thorn to remove this thorn. Or another needle. So you put in another foreign object to remove this. That's the only way of removing a thorn. Do you know that? Similarly here. So you encourage your powerful vasana, direct it towards a higher ideal. Then you overcome it. But very good question. So, you choose a field according to your most powerful vasana, prominent vasana. Then follow your intellect, that's the most important. And in the field of your Swadharma, fix a higher ideal. So if your talent is art, you do it not just to earn money, you do it because you're dedicated to art itself or to music or whatever. Then every morning you're excited, you're enthusiastic, you're looking forward to the day because you have an opportunity to act in the field of your passion. You know, I went to a place called Bristol in UK, and there's a bridge there that was designed by an engineer many years ago, 300 years or 400 years. There's something unique to that bridge. And the person who told me about that engineer said he viewed his work of creating this bridge like an artist views his canvas. So to him it wasn't boring. But if you're not an engineer, you'll say, "Hey, what a boring job." He was excited about it. To him, it was an act of worship. So then what happens is you change for the better. You become a better person. And that's the whole thing about identifying as Swadharma. Now, in 36, the next verse, Arjuna asks a question. A question that may come to the minds of all of us. And let's see what that question is.
Arjuna uvacha atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha.
Arjuna asks, O Varshneya, descendant of Vrishni, means another name for Krishna, what drives a person to commit sin, even against one's own wish, as if compelled by force? Baladiva. You know, it's interesting. When you have a powerful desire to do something, you break through all kinds of barriers. You do unethical, illegal, immoral things because that desire is so powerful. And have you not seen people do that? So the normal barriers in our mind of, okay, this is not right, it just doesn't operate. So it's like a river in spate, it just goes boom. And sometimes you wonder what made the person do it. And then Shakespeare highlights this desire. In Macbeth, Macbeth goes and kills his own benefactor. King Duncan would have made Macbeth king anyway. But he decides to go and kill him. And after that he never sleeps. You know, he goes around like a madman because he can't sleep. And when they ask him what's wrong with you, he says, he doesn't say, I've murdered King Duncan, he says, I've murdered sleep. And that is the state of anybody who allows, who's unintelligent enough or who lacks the intellect so much that he allows the desire to gather momentum to that extent. I don't want to name people, but I'm sure you know of people who were successful, who had enough money, everything was going smoothly in their lives, and then suddenly this wave of desire hits them. One example you can take, Ravana in the Ramayana. He was a king. He had all the wealth in the world. He had multiple wives. He had a harem with damsels from heaven. And then he decides, I want one more. And that too, Sita, the wife of another king. Which is absolute, a strict no-no. Because he, like his own brother said, there is no way you're going to get away with it. You think Ram is going to sit there and keep quiet while his wife is abducted? But why did he do that? That's what desire overcomes. What is it that drives a person to commit sin against his own wish, as if compelled by force? Forget anything else. You go to a party, you are driving. What makes you drink more than a certain amount? You know the ills. That's his question. And see, all of us, now I've given examples of Ravana and striking examples. But all of us have done that. are continuously doing it. Is that not true? At every meal. Do you get up from a meal saying, I've just had enough, whatever my intellect has told me? Huh? We always get up and say, I should not have had that. One extra puri, or one extra spoon of Shrikhand, or whatever it is. Isn't that true? What makes you do that? That is his question. And we'll see Krishna's answer.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kama esha krodha esha Rajo guna samudbhavaha Mahashano mahapapma Vidhyena miha vairinam.
Look at the answer. Precise, clear, to the point. Not one extra word in that answer. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Krishna speaks straight. Kama esha, it is desire. Krodha esha, it is anger. Born of Rajoguna. Where does it all come from? Rajas. Voracious devourer. Very sinful. Two adjectives. What does it do? It eats you up. One desire you have in your system is unfulfilled, it finishes you off. Very sinful means it agitates your mind. See, please remember, sin is not in the action, it is in the reaction. So what happens to you? What happens to your mind? It's constantly agitated. Know this as the enemy here. Vidhi enam iha vairinam. Vairinam, second word. So, what is desire? When he says it is desire, you must know what is desire. Desire is the strategy of the intellect to fulfill an unfulfillment felt within. So, when does desire come in your mind? Sorry? Sorry? When do you crave? That's the point. How does the desire come? Okay. Desire comes from an emptiness. If you haven't eaten food from the morning onwards, we are talking Bhagavad Gita, your mind will be on food. Suppose you've just eaten. Somebody told you that lovely samosas you get here. I don't know, don't go by what I say. And you've just eaten those samosas and come here. Even if I suggest food to you, your mind will reject it. Why? Because your stomach is full. So emptiness is the precursor of desire. And this emptiness we feel from birth to death. From the moment you wake up till the time you go to sleep, you're constantly experiencing this emptiness, the void, the sense of something missing. That's why the moment you wake up, you reach out for a cup of coffee, tea, something or the other. Every waking moment, not just waking, even in the dream you have desire. Only in the deep sleep state you are free from desire. So, it is desire. Now what they say is that this emptiness that you experience is not real. Actually, you are absolutely full, complete, fulfilled. Paripurna, not just purna, not just full, paripurna, extremely full, overflowing. then what is the problem? You just don't know it. So friends, you don't need objects of desire. However many objects of desire you acquire in life, you will still feel empty. How do we know that? Look at the richest guys in the world. Are they happy? Is there anyone who says, I've had enough, I'm full? No. They want that one more billion. They want one more aircraft. They want one more, I don't know what. One more palace. They want their daughter to get married in where? Venice. I know of a guy who got his daughter married there, and his guests fell in the water with all their finery and jewelry and everything. She was getting off the boat. Venice is full of boats, right? It's water. Onto the shore, and she slipped. She fell into the water and went to the wedding in all her finery, yes, but all wet. This is the thing. So, and it's not just desire, its modifications are even worse. And if you can actually put it into practice, you can tell yourself, you see something nice and say, I don't need it. Huh? You see a beautiful car, a powerful BMW, top of the line, what is it called? Tesla. And say, how nice if I had it. Then you should bring your intellect in place and ask yourself some basic questions. And then, if the answer to all these questions is no, press the delete button on that thought, it will go away. And in fact, you know what? You take a ride in a Tesla, just one ride, and you can program yourself to say, my desire is fulfilled. Isn't that true? For your desire to be full, see, if you have a desire for ice cream, it's not that you should have a triple sundae only and then you will be fulfilled. Even half a teaspoon of ice cream is enough. You program yourself. How wonderful. Desire gone. Huh? Number two, you don't have to own it yourself for the desire to be fulfilled. You know, the other day somebody was talking about somebody else and said, oh, you know, he has a bungalow in South Mumbai and he has a garden. And so I said, yeah, I also have a garden. Where? Right outside my house. 7-acre garden. Huh? Oval Maidan. But who on earth says that it has to belong to you for you to enjoy it? Do you know what a fantastic advantage we have? I can walk out onto Oval Maidan anytime I want. I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to maintain it. I can go there anytime. What's the difference? Only that the title is not in my name. Thank God it isn't. So this is how you program yourself to fulfill your desires without having to earn the money and buy it, and, without this sense of ownership. Born of Rajas. Rajas is this full of desire. This is what makes the world go round. Rajas. Tamas is the state of unmanifest desire. So the desire is there, but it's in the subconscious. Rajas is a state where the desires are playing up in your mind. You're aware of these desires. I want this, I want that, and you're running after it. In Sattva, you have transcended desire. How? By this understanding. understanding that everything in the world is passing, ephemeral, impermanent. It is not worthy of a human being to crave for these things. Our mission in life is to rise above Rajas and Tamas and establish yourself in Sattva. Oh, what power Sattva has. Have you seen a relatively sattvic person, not 100% Sattva, but relatively sattvic? Pure, that purity just shines forth. It's so attractive. And it's, there is power in not wanting anything. Learn, even if you fake it, it works. Learn the art of saying no thank you to the world. I genuinely don't want it. Like, I travel a lot, and every time I travel they say, would you like to go sightseeing? Do you want to go see this, that and the other? I said, no please. And it's a genuine thing. I don't like sightseeing because I travel so much anyway. That on top of that, if I include sightseeing in my itinerary, I'll be dead. And then they say, have you seen the British Museum? Why should I go and see what they've looted from us? All the things stolen from India are sitting there. Why would you want? And that to pay to enter that British Museum. Add more to their coffers. There was an American, the first time I went to the United States. There was a young 27-year-old American, son of a senator. He had actually calculated, this was in the early 80s, how much money a person needs to live a real fancy life, the top of the line, everything. You have a private yacht, private jet, private this, private that. He said, all you need is $250 million at that time. It's more than enough. You can include the inflation, everything is taken care of. He says, after that, what are you going to do with the money? You can't swallow it. It's just there. And people are not enjoying the $250 million and running after 500 million, 1,000, 1 billion. He says it's not worth it. So he had his 250 million and he was having a whale of a time. So that's what it is. And the modifications of desire are horrible. Desire blocked leads to anger. Desire fulfilled, are you happy? Greed. It's fulfilled still more, you reach the very top. You're fearful of losing what you've acquired. The richer you are, the more security systems you have in place. You've got to believe this. They can't move from one room to another without making sure the thing has been switched off. I made a mistake. We entered the home and they switched off the security downstairs. I didn't know upstairs they had another one. So I ran up the stairs and the alarm went off. Within 30 seconds the cops were there. This is in South Africa. And every time you give a false alarm, you have to pay. I felt so bad. But I didn't know. Now, I don't touch anything without first asking. This time in England it was so hot. I felt like opening the window at night. I couldn't because I opened the window and the alarm might go off. Fear of losing what you have. And then you reach the very top. There will always be someone who has more than you. You're envious of those who have more, arrogant towards people who have less. So if you understand where desire will get you, you will keep away from it. This doesn't mean you don't fulfill the desire. You just don't become a victim of desire. There's a world of difference between the two. Think about it.
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते